Banana nut. Banana nut. Yep, that works. Let's see, that worked. Background stuff. Hold on. Gotta set stuff up. Oh, for goodness sakes, paste. All right, that's done. One more place to go set up. Go to the Discord. Come on. Where am I at? That's not where I want to put it. There we go. That's where I want to put it. And everyone on YouTube, come hang out. Send it. Send it. All right. One last thing. Public. Copy. Paste. Almost done. Pin. All right. We got it all set up. This stuff's so good. What's up, Green? What's up, government? What's up, Cody? What's up? Oh man, I'm gonna fuck your name up. Oga Chukwa from where we were from Nigeria, I think. But I tried my best with your name. That's all I could get out. Hey, what's up, Scotty from Scotland? What up, Moto? What up, Pell? What up, Dab? What up, Eric? What up, Big Dar? What up, Super Low? What up, Lance? What's up, WR450? I should have worn your hat, the hat you got me today. It's downstairs all rubber banded up, though, so I don't want to touch it. It's got like another, I don't know. I usually like to leave them banded up for like a month. So it's got a little bit longer to go. What up, Hills? What's good? What up, William? What up, Artful Codger? How's my mod doing? How you doing, buddy? Minmo Buds. What do you do with your flower after collecting the seeds? That's actually a really good question. So, whenever you're making the seeds, that's a little off. Whenever you're making the seeds, what you notice is your trichome production will be way down. So you'll still have trichomes, yes, of course, but the amount of trichomes you have is way down, and it's for a good reason. You know, whenever the plant's making trichomes, it's trying to make itself stickier and bigger and more attractive to pollinators and stuff like that. So hopefully bees or something will bring it pollen and it can grow seeds. Well, once it's already gotten pollen and growing seeds, you notice your buds don't get as big as they normally would, and you won't make as many trichomes as you normally would. And that's because a specific thing has happened already. This is why we don't introduce pollen too early in a plant's flowering cycle, because you'll get really small buds. Well, if you wait like a little extra week, give it a little more time to develop, and then pollinate them. You'll find that you get more bud because you waited a little bit longer. Because once they get the pollen, their job's done. They don't need to make bigger bud. It's one of the reasons we can get such big buds growing indoors, because we're denying them pollen. We're not allowing them to have pollen. So, but back to the original part of the question. Sorry, I got distracted. Focus. I give it all to my buddy. My buddy has he makes tons and tons of edibles, so it works really, really well for him, because the process of getting the seeds out completely obliterates the bud structure, everything like that. It turns it all into it's what we call chaff. So it's all just, we basically take the buds. You'll see I'll have entire 5-gallon buckets just full of these big, nice buds, and then I take a paint stirrer on a drill and just destroy all the buds after we let them super dry out. So there's a couple because it makes the seeds easier to get out. Whenever the drier the the drier it is, the slide on. The drier it is, the bud is, the easier the seeds are to come out, and easier because like the seeds are like encased in this little like wrapper. So like this, they sit inside of it. And when they're about ready, you'll see this wrapper just kind of split open on the top. Then you can see the seed inside. If you're not trying to make seeds, it's one of the worst things you can see in your grow is that. But if you are trying to make seeds, it's fantastic. And it opens up this little window on the top, and you're like, oh, and then you can check the progress of your seeds just looking through that little window. We're like, oh, they're still gray, or oh, they're darkening up. All right, they're brown. Oh, now they're brown with tiger stripes. Okay, the majority of what I'm seeing is brown with tiger stripes. Now it's time to harvest. But it literally really destroys the bud. You're basically left with a bunch of shake at the bottom is all it looks like, because we've so destroyed the buds trying to get all of the seeds out in the quickest, easiest way possible. But all that stuff still has, trichomes and stuff on it. So we'll take it, and I take it over to my buddy's house, and he has a couple Levo 2 machines. Shout out to Levo. Those things work really well. No sponsor. They just do work. And he makes edibles out of all of it. So that's what I do with my leftovers. The super long answer to a relatively short worded question. Cheers. I already hit the like button. Hey, thanks. Appreciate that. All right, so I can restart the chat. That took way too long to answer. I probably could have answered that. And I give it to my buddy that does edibles. Would have been the super short answer to that. Just got done trimming Cherry Atomic Sledgehammer. Smells incredible. Awesome, man. That's awesome. I love it. I like Cherry Atomic Sledgehammer. It's a hell of a grower. I don't know if I recommend it too much for brand new people, because just like you said, it's a hell of a grower. So you got to stay on top of your training. So if you're not comfortable with training yet, maybe go to something that's a little bit slower growing, because Cherry Atomic grows crazy. So is the Spartan Sour Diesel. It's been growing crazy too. You need to be on top of your game with that too. Okay, Pasa, what's up? What's the biggest cause when trichomes appear to have stopped producing? Are you talking about so you've gotten some trichomes, they're just not as many as you thought you should? Is that what we're talking about? Or are we talking about they're not developing like they should be developing? Which way are we talking about? Is the new strain announced yet? Want to see how it's been going for you. I'm still thinking on the name. My favorite for the name so far is Atomic Smash Cake for it. I haven't announced it yet. And then the next strain after that is one I've been working on with another person that is in the community. And there was a little hint in it in the last video drop. If you sat around in all that black screen that was at the end, that wasn't on accident. There was a secret buried inside of all that blackness. So if you stuck around, there's a little, you gotta be quick with the pause game, but you can find it. GT's feeling wordy. Don't ask about PK boosters. Oh man, I had a call yesterday and we were talking about PK boosters and the dangers of them. I have a Levo. They are the bomb. Yeah, see, that's exactly what I mean. They work really well. They're super simple. It's like working a coffee machine. Oh, man. Have you ever had an autoflower not fade? Yes. And have you ever had a... Damn it. Fucking chat. Switch to chop chat. Where's that comment at? And have you ever had a strained or cultivar not turn all the way cloudy or trichome? Oh, yeah. So that's both of those are absolute possibilities. So with autoflowers, a lot of times they don't eat nearly the amount of food as a photoperiod will. So you have to be careful with the amount of food you're giving. General rule of thumb is whenever you're doing autoflower, I try to maintain about whatever the 50% the recommended food dosages are. So if it's asking for 4 milliliters per gallon, I will give 2 milliliters per gallon, because generally autoflowers are just not heavy feeders. One, because of their size, and two, just because that's in their nature. They're just not generally heavy feeders. And so if there's a little bit too much nutrients, and I'm talking about just a touch too much nutrients, your plant won't ever go through a fade, because we're not giving that availability to them, because there's so many nutrients available to them. Like my average size photo periods will do 300 to 400 ppms a week is what they generally eat. My really big plants, like those giant mother plants that we are flowering right now, they will eat up sometimes 800, 900, 100, 1,000 ppms a week. So they're very hard to stay on top of. And so you have to, that's one of the reasons the autoflowers won't fade on you, because even just a touch too much food and they won't fade out, because they're never going to go into their reserves, which is their fan leaves. What was the second part? And then have you ever had a strain of cultivar not turn all the way cloudy on the trichome? So yes, if you stunt these plants, especially with an autoflower, man, I did not get enough sleep last night. My eyes are like all dark and fucking with me while I'm trying to talk. I'm like, man, you look tired today, GT. You were up way too late. Slept like 2.5 hours last night. Is all sleep I slept like sleep I got. Yeah. So I woke up, grabbed some strawberry mimosa this morning, and got the day going. But I am feeling it today. Generally, I can get about 3.5 hours of sleep and be fine. But 2.5 hours, it starts getting rough. But hey, we got 2 videos dropping this. We got 1 video dropping tomorrow and another video dropping on Monday. So, what week do you turn off CO2 in your flower? I turn it off at week 7. But I mean, I don't even start it till week 3, so I don't run it very long if I'm going to run it all. Smoking on some, yeah, what's everybody smoking on today? I started my day off with PFG2, or not PFG2, but strawberry mimosa. I was reading PFG2. Smoking on some PFG2 as we speak, even better than I expected. Hey, awesome, I like it. I started mine off with strawberry mimosa. What's everybody else got going today? Hey GT, yo GT, I seen an older video that you had the Grow Book and Equipment Guide. It's the best cannabis book ever written. And I was wondering what your take on the book was. That's my take. It's the best cannabis book written, especially for the time it was written. The principles that it had in it, it really went against the grain of everything that was common knowledge or common talking points at the time. It really went and pushed the other direction on it. I think it's the best cannabis grow book that's ever been written. That's my take. It's the only book that I've ever advertised for. They didn't unpaid. It's the only book I've ever advertised for and probably will ever support. It's the best grow book that's ever been written. Oh, you got some strawberry mimosa too. Nice. I like my favorite. I think strawberry mimosa is probably my favorite thing to start the day with, and then it goes to like PFG after that. You got Runs for You, Gelato 41, Laughing Gas, White Wedding. Oh, dude, I had some freaking wedding cake the other day. We're gonna have to throw that into one of the strains because it was fantastic. And that's not something I usually say when I get stuff from somebody else, but this wedding cake, it's fantastic. It was really, 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 really good. I had it up at the snake show with me, and I gave it to let a few other people try it, and they were like, "Holy fuck!" But it was really, really good. Vaping some grape cherry punch, dude. Grape cherry punch is slowly like moving up into my like number 2 favorite. Which of your strains are indica dominant besides PFG? All of them. Not a very big sativa person, but we do have a sativa dominant coming up. So we have Blue Dream going right now, and so we have some sativa dominant stuff coming up because I can't just, the Patreon's gotten to a size and the following of which we can't just do all indica dominant stuff. But you guys will have to let me know how that one goes because I ain't trying it. My anxiety says, not today, son. Keep that shit away from me. You can have them sativas. Critical Purple Kush, nice. Blueberry and orange sherbet. Ooh, that sounds fantastic. Poop Nana OG smoking some Wooberry. There we go. Haven't had to buy flour in over 3 years since I found your channel. The flour is always fire, and I have peace of mind knowing friends and family have safe product. Yeah, I agree, but with the traveling that I do, I can't always take stuff with me. Like whenever I get on a plane, even though I have a medicinal card and it's medicine, I'm still not allowed to fly state to state with it, even though it's medicine, because it's still federally illegal and regulated. So like whenever I go places, I still have to like go to dispensaries to buy stuff or find a plug in that area, which I mean, it's not terribly hard to do because generally just because of the channel, I know people that are in each state and I'm like, hey, I'm in your state. I need help. And so sometimes people will bring me stuff. So that works too. So shout out to D-Rock who brought me the wedding cake up in Illinois. Because I didn't have any with me, and it worked out. And I think Illinois would have been fine to have it with me because I didn't fly, and but I did have to cross some state lines to get there, so that part wouldn't have been good. But shout out to D-Rock. Thanks for the wedding cake because it was fantastic. It was so good. I'm like, this is going into future crosses. I loved it. Wedding cake, big fan. Blue Dream is great. Yeah, see, there you go. I've tried many different strains and they all come out smelling fruity. Yeah, sometimes the fruity strains can be very dominant and in the way that they present. So you can have with like the Spartan Sour Diesel, I was hoping the diesel would be more prominent than the grape soda smell from the PFG, but the PFG is so strong, it really is. It really is. Bella! Hey, what are you chewing on over there? I can't see her. She's behind the second monitor in the desk, and I can just hear her just destroying things. Bella, come here. Bells. She likes it when I call her Bells. She doesn't like when she knows she's in trouble if I say her full name. Come here. What are you doing? No, what are you chewing on? You stretch? Is that a big stretch? Huh? Come here. Come here. Oh, say hi to everyone. What were you doing over there? Huh? Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Why? What were you destroying over there? No, no kisses. Tell me. Oh, am I boring you? Is me sternly talking to you not entertaining? No. So, that's the thing. But it was not that way with the skunk. The skunk stuff, the Spartan skunk that we just did. I got banned from growing it. I'm not allowed to grow it anymore. The wife, she's like, I don't mind 90% of the stuff you grow. You can never grow that. So enjoy the Spartan skunk because it's never getting crossed again. There will be no Gen 2 of it. When what we have is what we have, you guys will have to make it yourself because no, we got banned. The wife was like, listen, like she almost like left the house for 3 days while we were trimming and separating. So guys, make sure you enjoy the Spartan Sour Diesel or the Spartan. I think Spartan Sour Diesel will be okay, but make sure you enjoy the Spartan Skunk OG because that's a one and done. We got banned from ever doing it again. Are you going to sleep like this? Are you going to sleep? Hey, don't look at me with that blank stare. Hey. Oh, you're just snoring. Hey, I'm talking to you. When I talk, you look at me. You can't be just laying down. We're working. You got to pay attention. There's none of this napping on the job. Look at you. You're about to fall asleep now. You slept all night. I only slept for 2 hours. Look at you're falling asleep. Come on, wake up. You're going to bed, aren't you? Yeah. You gotta the camera's here. The camera's here. You gotta look that way. Go play. Get dog hair on me. Black shirt, white dog hair. Oh, star of the show. She is. She gets on here and sleeps. Hey, GT, what does your sour grape rock candy smell like? Death. Mine stinks sweet baby poop, but in a good way. Well, that's because of one of the parents. So there's only been 2 strains we've ever been banned in the house from growing by Miss GT. The first one is Crescendo, which is actually one of the parents of sour grape rock candy. It smelled, imagine you're 50 years old, you've been an alcoholic all your life, you're wearing an adult diaper, and you've been out drinking tequila and whiskey all night. And then you ate $40 worth of Denny's food in White Castles that night. And then it's 130 degrees outside and you've shit your pants and you sat in it all day in the heat. That is about the equivalent to the smell of Crescendo. It doesn't smell good. It's very potent. The smoke is extremely potent, but it does not smell good. That's the best olfactory scent smells I can come up with for describing Crescendo when you're growing it. It may be one of the strongest strains you can buy and grow, but the smell is terrible. That's where the sour part of the sour grape rock candy name came from, was from the Crescendo and the smell. But so Crescendo was the first one that was banned from growing, and then the second one was the Spartan Skunk OG. Still waiting for my Spartan Sour Diesel. Well, I mean, everything's been mailed off, so that's was that Robski? Oh yeah, that goes to an intermediate before it goes to you, so that's all gone. Can we get a smoke report on the Spartan Skunk? Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, it's amazing. It smells like it's supposed to smell. It tastes like it's supposed to taste. It's great. A little upset I can't ever grow it again and make it further along. But the missus does let me have 54 plants in my basement. It's legal. That's a number I can have in my state for being a caretaker and the 3 licenses in the house. So, hey, what's up, Deusa? You guys, if you haven't, go check out Deusa Farms channel. He's growing cherry atomic sledgehammer on it right now. Did a really cool video drop. Was it the other day, yesterday, 2 days ago, something like that? Guys, go check out Deusa Farms. Oh. So, I'm glad you're liking the cherry atomic sledgehammer. That is a vigorous grower. They will constantly run up towards the light, so you got to stay on top of their training. I miss White Castle. There's none in Colorado. Thank you for answering, GT. Yeah, that is exactly how I would describe the smell. Crescendo is rough. I'm dying laughing. Stunk my whole house out every time I open the jar. Yeah, exactly my point. Got Purple Punch in the tent. Nice. Let's see. I'm in Vegas. We have no problem growing GT's bird food. I keep a humidifier in the room with a quart size cup. Oh, somebody having a problem? Where's Marquise? I don't see anything. My seed popped and the seed even fell off when I put it in soil. Do I have any hope? I don't know what that. I need more information on that question. My blueberry and GCP, strawberry mimosa, and cash all popped on the same day. They are twice as big as the blueberry. Hey man, that's that's the way it happens sometimes. When you're growing from seed, they're not all going to be rock stars. That's why whenever, I always tell people, if you're trying to go for 4 plants, I'll plant 6 to 8, and then I'll keep my best 4, or I'll keep my best 5 or 6. Let's say I grew 8 and I keep my best 6, and then we start going through veg, and I'm like, oh well, we've got 6 and we only really want 4. So then I'll through the veg process, I'll weed out the other two and keep the best of the best. And if you do that, it's you'll have higher odds of constantly having rock stars in your tents. So that's the funk smell in GCP. Yeah, that's what that smell is. Don't say never. Who knows what future holds? I see you running a warehouse someday. Not with the fucking current interest rates. Jesus Christ. I was actually looking for a house. I was going to get a second house and just turn it into like a creator space. I was going to have a room for podcasts. I was going to turn the whole basement into a growing type thing. Then I would have like one of the rooms as the shipping and merch department. And then we'd have another room that was like editing and stuff like that. I was looking at places like in the middle, like towards the end of the pandemic. What was that? So like end of 21. And the prices on stuff the prices on houses were insane. So I was like, okay, well, we'll wait and see if it comes down. Jesus Christ. So the housing market leveled off, but the interest rates have gone so crazy that, a house that would have cost me $2,500 a month is now, $3,500 or $4,000 a month. And I don't want to, could I swing it? Probably, but I would have much rather had the $2,000 a month payment. But, and then you've got all the electricity, and sewer and water and trash and all that other stuff. So I could probably swing it, but it'd be tough. But I was looking at doing something like that, and everything went so crazy. I was like, all right, sticking to my basement. Was the skateboard a gift? Yes, it was I used to have a moderator on my Discord, and his name was Woods, and he was a painter, and he was a painter for like hot rods and stuff like that. And he made me this board and sent it to me. But it was just he hand painted all this. That's all hand, like airbrushing. It's a real deck. It's a real skateboard. Yeah, see, Woods Customs. I really appreciate your knowledge. He put it on there and autographed it for me. So really cool. This is a real deck, real skateboard deck. So I could always go skateboarding, I guess, if I wanted, but I wouldn't want to mess it up. And this is all hand, like airbrushed. And then he painted it with like a silver base coat. And then he put blue airbrushing over the top of it. And then he did all the stencil work. And then it's got like 6 coats of clear on it. So it looks awesome. And it fits right there on the wall, so it works out perfect. So yeah, that was he sent that to me. He sent me another one too that he had hand painted. It doesn't have the welcome to the grow tent stuff on it, but it's actually hanging up in my closet right there. Cherry Atomic Sledgehammer is very good. It made my friend who's 56 and been smoking for years cry. It was that good. That's awesome. I fucking love hearing that shit. In week 4, flowers started to put weight on PFG and GCP. They're looking good. Thank you, GT. Hey, Mark, dude, I love hearing that shit too. I spend a lot of time on my crosses and which ones I'm crossing together. So it's always awesome to hear people are having good luck with it. So great content. Thank you. Hey, thank you. Not sure if you've ever covered this or not, but have you ever considered making an autoflower? I am pretty notorious with my hatred for autoflowers, and it's nothing to do with the people that make them. I super respect people that make autoflowers because the amount of work that goes into making autoflowers was, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of generations of work to get that autoflower trait stabilized. What I don't like about autoflowers is how inconsistent they are, and especially for new growers, they're a very difficult plant to grow. And you can treat all the plants the same. If you ever notice my gardens, I like them consistent. I like the size of the plants equal throughout the entire garden. And whenever you're a new grower and you're dealing with photo periods and you're working with something in what you're doing is working well and you have consistent results throughout the whole grow, the confidence that gives you for future grows is amazing. And whereas you can start with Autoflowers, do everything right, and the plants can still turn out not that great. And what that will do to a lot of people, most people will give this 2 grows. They will give this 2 grows, and if they have 2 shitty grows, they will quit and sell all their equipment. And then they're back at the dispensary paying crazy high prices, or they're back at the black market doing it illegally because the dispensaries are freaking outrageous with how expensive they are. So have you still got that huge Sparta slab? I do, but whenever we had that flood in the basement because we got 10 inches of rain. What are you doing, fella? Thank you. Give me. I just started feeling kisses on my leg. Hi, welcome back. Are you energized? Are you ready for the show? No? You hear the leaf blower outside? You don't like it, huh? Is it scaring you? She's sitting under my desk now. She's scared of the leaves. She's scared of like the vacuums, and she's not a fan of leaf blowers. So loud things. She's got those big pointy Batman ears. So going to Tinley Park today. Ooh, nice. I like it. I wasn't too far away from there. I was in Schaumburg. Was it last weekend? Yeah, I think it was last weekend for the NARBC show. Oh, what's up, GTU, man? Hey, thanks. Woods was a nutter. Not wrong. Cool guy. Not great for being a mod, though, but very cool guy. Made really cool artwork. Was a very good painter, but probably not the best mod. He got too attached or involved. I don't know, not involved. He would take things personally, and then everything would go crazy, and I would have to de-escalate situations. And like the mod team I have now, they're awesome. They're fantastic. Let's see. I'm waiting on some Blue Dream info. GT is the best. It's coming. They're growing right now. They're all in veg. I was just topping them all yesterday or the day before. I just started my auto journey in separate 2x2 using Mephisto, but my 2x4 is all GT plants. I'm going to take a guess, and the GT plants will come out better just because they're autos. Not saying anything bad about Mephisto, because if you're going to get Autoflowers, I mean, Mephisto and Night Owl are probably as good as it gets. Hello, GT. What should I do with old carbon filters? You can either get a product called, was it Carbon Revive, or there's a product and what it does is it's an enzyme, and you can coat your filters in it. You can coat your filters in it, and actually will eat all the stuff that's been absorbed into the carbon and make it like new. But most people just throw them away and get new ones. But if you're not one of those people that like to waste stuff like that, then go ahead and you can get that. I can't think of the name of the product. It's either Filter Revive or Carbon Filter Revive or something like that. Hey, GT, how can you lower the ppms on the soil? Then you just run regular water through it. So if let's say we'll do something nice and easy. We'll say we're at 1,000 ppms, and not that that's a number we would want to lower it from, but I'm just nice, easy, flat number. Well, if we were at 1,000 ppms, well, if we take water that's 80 ppm and we run a 80 ppm solution through 1,000 ppm media, as that water pulls down, what you'll notice is if you take a reading of your runoff water, you'll see it's not 80. So it might be 1,000, it might be 800. And then you'll drain or vacuum that water off. Either one, doesn't matter if you dump it out or shot back it out, I don't care. You are pulling nutrients out of it, and then you can go back immediately. Like if it's something like you're trying to flush it down or anything like that, then you can go back in and run more water through it until you get to the number that you want if you're trying to lower the ppm of your soil. Love your site. Hey, thanks. GT, will you ever do a seed to harvest hydroponically? We are getting ready to have an autopot series that will be in cocoa. So technically not hydroponic, but it was more of an auto watering system. So after that, we'll get to the point where we do DWCs and stuff like that. The thing that I don't like about it was the same reason that I never wanted to do PK booster videos, because of exactly what I thought would happen, which is people went out and everybody has the same mentality. Well, if a little's good, more will be better. Whenever you do that with stuff like PK boosters, see, Artful, we're talking about PK boosters, your plants will all die. Well, this channel is mainly focused on brand new growers and getting them through their first 6 grows. Generally, if you can get somebody through their first 6 grows, they're a grower for life, and then they don't ever have to pay for their stuff ever again, unless they go out of town, of course. The problem you have whenever you start dealing with hydroponics is whenever you're in media-based grows, there is time to recover if something happens. There is time to fix things if something happens. In a hydroponic grow, if, you shut your lights off or anything for the night and you can come back to dead plants. Oh, my air stone went out. Oh, piece of the chiller went out. Slight equipment failure, and there's no recovery time. Everything is just dead. Everything is gone. So can we do it? We probably can. I'm thinking. I don't know. I mean, it's tough. You know what I mean? Just because hydroponic grows for new people are very difficult. But I mean, there's a reason. Like if you go to any commercial grow facility, they're not growing hydroponically. Generally, they are generally in some kind of flood and drain system if they're going to be more geared toward that way. But generally they're going in maybe an auto drip system or something like that. But generally for a full hydroponic system, they're few and far between. It is the fastest way to grow, though. It's also the most dangerous. Any new bird food drops on the way? There is. With having the expanded facility in my basement, we used to get 1 to 2 new drops a year. But with having the expanded facility in my basement and being able to run 54 plants at a time now, we generally have been having 6 to 9 maybe drops a year, 6 to 8 drops a year. So there's almost one every other month now because we've got so many plants in such big area of doing it. So so the next one, we're still working title on the name, but so far I like Atomic Smash Cake is probably my favorite name for it. But it's still a working title. I haven't settled on that yet, but it's Grandpa's Cookies crossed with Cherry Atomic Sledgehammer. So any advice on growing Spartan Sour Diesel or Spartan Skunk? With the Sour Diesel, you stay on top of your training. It is a very fast grower. What do you think about the AC Infinity Waking Pots? I haven't used them yet, so I generally don't like to comment on things that that I haven't personally used, but I mean they should work just as well as anything else. So, so there is new bird food drop on the way. They are in week 4 or is it 5? I don't have to look at my calendar. They're either in week 4 or week 5 of flower right now. But that's Atomic Smash Cake, and then we've got a bunch of really cool drops coming in a row. So, if you'd like to always get in on the drops, you can join the Patreon with that link right there. Shameless plug time. So you can cherry chip cookie. It's not bad. But you can join the Patreon, guys. Any of the VIP tiers that you would join come with some cool benefits. It was about the only way to say that. So it's a really good time to join. Plus, you get video conferences with me, GT. We get to sit here just like this. I do it about 40 times a week with people. And we get to sit here just like this, only on my screen, what I'd be seeing right now is you with your plants, and then I would be up in this like little bubble right here and looking at it. And then so I get this, it's like I'm sitting right next to you with your plant. So we've made some really, really awesome growers. So, but you should check out the Patreon. Go ahead and sign up. They were having some problems with one of their payment processors. So like, they actually sent me an email. They're like, hey, we're just letting you know you've got about 100 people affected by this on your Patreon. So your Patreon members are down to like 502 right now, but you have about 100 Patreon members that are affected with this, and we're working on getting it fixed. So one of their payment processors wasn't letting about 100 of my Patreons get signed back up for the month. So just know, we know there's a problem. They're working on it. They actually sent me a message and said that you can just change your payment form. So if you were paying with PayPal, you can switch to a card. If you were paying with a card, you can switch to a different card, or you can switch to PayPal. And it usually will go around it just for the month. And then after the month's over, you should be able to switch back. But just to let you know, they are working on it, but there's about 100 of you affected. So I know it's happening, and they know it's happening. They actually sent me a message and say, hey, there's a high number of your people that are, there's almost close to 100 people that are being affected by this from just your Patreon page alone. And it's happening site-wide. So it's not just an us issue. It's a site-wide problem. Just joined, figuring out the Discord now. Hey, thank you for joining. I appreciate it. I never figured out the Discord. It's a little confusing, but if you spend time on it, bird food run flowers are 12 weeks. Yes. Sometimes they can be 11. I never run them longer than 12. So whenever I'm determining, sometimes I've cut them down at 10. So there is, just like with trichome development, all of your trichomes are never in the same place at the same time. That's why you've got, like some in amber, some in cloudy, some still in clear. Well, the bird food is no different. So whenever I'm looking, remember how earlier we talked, they develop in like the little pocket, and then they'll open up at the top. You can see just barely the top of the seed through this like little crack, or this bird food, not seed. It's crazy. Who's talking about that? And so it'll open up like that, and inside you can see if it's still white. You can see first if it's still green, and then it's still white. They go through a bunch of different color changes. So the first one you'll see is green. Generally, they are not open, so you have to open them to see that. But they'll be green on the inside, and then after that they'll be white, and then after that they'll be gray. Now, as soon as they are a solid gray, they are technically viable. They don't have to turn brown and then brown with tiger stripes. So as soon as they are like a solid light gray color where the majority of the white is gone and they are gray, they are 100% functional and good. Now, is that when you want to cut them down? No, because if the majority of them are still gray, that means a ton of them will still be white and green. This is just like the trichome. So if they come in different stages. So what you do is you wait for the majority to be tiger brown with tiger stripes. And as soon as the majority are brown with tiger stripes, you'll still have some that are just brown with no tiger stripes. And then you'll have some that are gray with no brown, no tiger stripes. And then you'll have a very smaller amount that are still white. And then you have an even smaller amount that are still green. Well, if you cut them down early, then let's say you cut them down when the majority were just barely brown and then mainly gray. Well, then you'll have a bunch that are still gray and white, and then you'll have even more that are still white, and then you'll have more that are still green. So it's just like you're looking at it just like you do in the trichomes, basing on what you see the most of. So as soon as I see that the majority of the stuff that's open on the top layer of the plant, as soon as I see that the majority are brown with tiger stripes, then I chop the plant. So sometimes it happens in week 10, sometimes it happens in week 11, usually it's week 11, and then sometimes it happens in week 12. So it varies from line to line to line. All right. Got it all out. Very talkative today. Hopefully this can of liquid death. I've switched from needing a cherry bubbly sponsor. Now I need liquid death. They curse every can. All right. I just joined Patreon. I joined the Patreon. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it, guys, because YouTube, once again, does not allow Canna content channels to be moderated or monetized. We're especially moderated. So everybody that joins or signs up, I sincerely appreciate it. Plus, you get to talk to me every day. If that sounds like a good time to you, then you should join up because I answer my messages on there daily, unless I'm like super busy with the regular job, and that does happen sometimes. You saw me the other day; I still had the collared shirt on. So they make me wear collared shirts a lot of times. I gotta meet people. Oh, look at this Bella here. Get off there, ruining my black shirt. She's down here sleeping under the desk. She's a bulldog. She's finally starting to realize she's a bulldog. So she likes to sleep now. Before she'll like sleep most of the time, and then she gets up, runs with zoomies, and then falls back asleep. Call it crutch cookies. That's not bad. 2 months in a row, Patreon. Yeah, they've been having a problem with this payment processor. So apparently, I ordered Spartan Skunk on 8/1. Was that too late? No. It was too late to get a T-shirt, but it wasn't too late to get that. I still have a bunch of Spartan Skunk, so you're good. I grew Spartan Skunk in the 5x5. Whenever I grow in the 5x5, it's a lot of seeds or bird food. Bird food, damn it, GT. Patreon is on auto withdrawal. Figure it out, man. There you go. Yeah, see, Steve knows what's up. Devin, you're not too late. There's a lot left. Yeah. You just missed on yeah, I don't ever sell any of the bird food. It's all free to my VIP patrons. But I don't ever sell it ever. Question. Planted what I thought was photos, but they're autos. Oof, that sucks. That does happen sometimes. They are at 5 weeks. Too late to transplant? No, fuck no. Transplant them. I transplant autos all the time whenever I grow them. Not the best idea, but it's better than keeping them in too small of a pot. So just transplant them. You're fine. Missing out if you don't join the Patreon. Hey. On that note, hey, there's the link again. Seriously though, I am always super appreciative of the Patreon and the people that choose to support the channel. It's always awesome. And so thank you. Hey GT, how many days before the flip do you final top? In this run, I topped 4 days before the flip. Also, I still have lots of colas with tight bud sites. They are not very tall. So anytime you're going to do a high stress training, either a topping or super cropping or cloning, because cloning is just an aggressive form of topping, taking more. I always give them at least 7 days. And when I'm doing cloning, usually it's 10 to 12 days. I will let them recover. So yeah, you shorted it by about half a week. So that will explain why you didn't get the height, but you still got the density. So I have Spartan Sour Diesel now. It just popped the bird food in night of the on the night of the 3rd. Can't be more excited. Hey man, I'm excited for you. That's a cool one. Gave my father-in-law tester nug of Cherry Atomic Sledgehammer, and he fell asleep with a spoon of peanut butter in his mouth. It's a fucking pretty fantastic way to go to bed. I mean, you might choke to death, but imagine dreaming while you're tasting peanut butter the whole time. I fucking love peanut butter. Oh, just fixed problem intent. Thought it was over or underwatering, but it was too high light intensity. All right. Jumped from 40 to 60%. I guess I jumped up too quick the first week. Yeah. So this is, one of the things I like to tell everybody. Like, people always ask for a light schedule. And I'll say, okay, I'm going to give you a generalized light schedule. But I always put a caveat on it. I'm like, if you turn your lights up and the plants aren't ready for it, you can always turn them back down a little bit. You don't have to go all the way back down. Like if you were at 25% and you jump up to 50% and they're like, oh, we don't like this. This is too much light, GT. I'll turn it down 10%. I'll turn it down a little bit. Give them a few more days to acclimate to it, and then I'll bring it back up. But my generalized light schedule is weeks 1 through 3 of veg, I'm at 25%. Weeks 4 veg through 2 of flower, however long that takes, I'm at 50%. Weeks 3 of flower through 5 of flower, I'm at 75%. And then week 6 of flower through week 8 of flower, I'm at 100%. That is just a generalized schedule. You have to listen to your plants. Like I have some lights in the grow tents downstairs that are 8,000, they're, the 8,000 series. I've never turned them above like 85% ever. So I run it as 85% is my strongest number, because that light, they keep making these stronger lights and they send them to me like, grow with this light, grow with this light. Pretty soon they're going to start shipping little suns, and I'm just going to get a little fusion sun that has to sit in the tent because they keep making these lights so strong. I'm like, these lights are meant for grow facilities, and in grow facilities, you are not in a tent. The lights are on the ceiling 10 foot away from the plant, so it's okay. But whenever you're growing in a tent with a, I even have I have gorilla tents. They're tall, and it's too much for a tent. So I don't, just because the knob's there doesn't mean you have to turn it up. You will get better results if you listen to the plant, not to our ego, which says, I want full power. I must have all the power. Because it will get me the best and biggest buds. Wrong. It will get you worse. You'll burn up your terpene profiles. They'll all be gone. Just turn your lights up because you wanted to run the lights higher instead of listening to the plants and said, we're happy. We like this amount of lights, GT. Keep it right here. And you're like, fuck you. Turn that light up. Don't do it. You get worse product. That's what the big grow places do. That's why every time you go to dispensary, you're like, meh, it's mid. Meh, it's boof. Meh, bleh. I just spent $71 on an eighth for crap. Because they don't get paid by quality. They get paid by weight. Weight is the only metric that they make money from. And it's the wrong way to do it. It's the reason so many people are going to home growing or going back to black market, because in the black market or in home grow, you don't get paid based on weight. Well, I mean, you do, but if you have shitty quality, no one's coming back. You know what I mean? So there's always been that consumer check mark on this. So where you're like, well, yeah, great, you had a ton of stuff, but it's all crap. It's all junk. I never walked out of the dispensary like, oh my God, it's so fantastic. 99 times out of 100, it's just boof. It's just mids. If you're lucky, it's mid. If you're lucky, it's mids. Because they only get paid for weight. So they'll turn that all the way up. It'll get you a little bit more weight when you turn those lights up like that. But I mean, you're stepping over dollars to pick up pennies because the quality goes boom and nosedives off a freaking cliff. So. Many thanks, GTA. Thanks, many thanks to you. I appreciate it. If anyone's having trouble navigating the Discord, DM or at a mod, and he's got an equipment list on there for some of the common stuff that we use. So make sure you check out that equipment list on the Discord if you're wondering what kind of equipment does GT grow with. He made a whole list of it, and you can just sit in one place and pick it all out and order it. And he's got it all categorized to the stuff, the different stuff you need. And you can find that list on the Discord. He also was the one that made the GT's one-page grow guide. He sent it to me whenever we first made it. I was like, you need to switch this, this, and this. Barely any changes to it because studies the videos really well. And we made a few switches around on it. And the grow page, I've seen there's people that have that GT's one-page grow guide poster size hanging up in their equipment rooms or in their grow rooms, and they reference it all the time. It's a fantastic grow guide. But all of the mods in there, we got, Yoda and Ether. Is it Ether or Aether? I'm never sure how to say it. Sean. But I mean, they're all the mods in there. They're all fantastic. So, but why is this frozen? My chat's frozen. It's like going. Is it? I think it's like it's trying to switch between top chat and live chat. Oh, we had new mods too. Claire's a new mod. Was there a second one? I'm not sure. Did we do two, or was Claire the only new other new one? I know Claire's a new mod. I don't know if I thought we did 2 at the time. Maybe not. So it's stuck on top chat. It's a piece of crap. Chat's going crazy. Switch to live chat. Oh, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Hey, GT, my bird food is going great. My t-shirt fits too. Hey, awesome. I got one on right now. It's the kind of stuff I see in my dreams. That's why it's called the dream shirt. This one came out real cool. Like, I really like how it fades from this white into like this like crystallized like blue structure, and then you see like everything getting pulled into the time warp in the back. So, what are mods? My moderators. If you in here, you can see them like Kenyatta that just posted, right? I don't know if it's right here for you guys, but for me, it's right here. It runs up the side. But Kenyatta right here, he is a mod. He's got a little wrench next to his name. He's a mod on the YouTube channel. And then some of the other people in here, like Eric, he is a mod on here. Those are moderators. If somebody's bullying you in the chat or anything like that, you can always try to get their attention, and they can kick them out. Because a lot of times I don't get to read all the messages, because like I'll look over here where my chat is and I'll read one, and then I'll go back over here and I'll probably miss 50 or 60 messages. And then I'll go back over here and after I get done answering that question, and I'll read another one and then go back over. So like sometimes people will get mad, and sometimes people will get mad. They're like, you're ignoring my questions on purpose. I'm like, no, I didn't see them, man. Hey, what's up, Cultivator? I just didn't see them because there's a lot of them. And then I'll read a question. Once again, I'll read a question, and then I turn back to you, because I'm not going to sit here like this and talk while I'm still reading and trying to like keep a thought in my head. And my head's already so full of stuff, it's hard to remain focused on one thing at a time. So I'll come back over here, and then I miss a bunch of questions and be like, oh, you're ignoring me on purpose. Yeah, no, I'm not ignoring you on purpose. I promise. Just, usually there's between 150 and 300 people in here on the chat. So, but who is modding the mods? Me. I mod the mods. So if there's ever a problem with the mod, like with Wood, he's a really cool guy, just wasn't the best mod. And like I am the one that has to like strip mod powers from people. So I am the one that has the ban power over everyone because I own the server. Oh, let's see. Oh, what else is going on? I'm on week 5 of veg, and all of a sudden my run has become sensitive to light. What would cause this? They've been consistent the whole run. Oh, that's a good question. So when you say they've become sensitive to light, are you saying that the power that the light was at before, or the height that they were at before, they no longer tolerate? Or are you saying that when I try to turn up the light, they don't like it, like they wouldn't mind before whenever I turn up the light, and now they've become too sensitive when I try to increase the light? Because generally when you're going from week 5 to week 6, you should still be at the 75% mark on your power of your light. GT's at the helm. Yeah. Smart and kick the wrench. I don't like doing it. I like everybody that's in my Patreon. I like everybody that watches the channels. I like everybody that hangs out on the Discord. Of course, we've had a few people that just, by putting the Discord, one of the reasons I put the Discord, the Bisquick. And one of the reasons I put the Discord behind where it was attached to the Patreon, one of the reasons I did that was because it keeps out a lot of the people that just wants to come in and argue and fight. Generally, if you're going to pay to support somebody, generally you like that kind of information. But sometimes it doesn't work out that way, and they get in there and it's just not a good fit. So, they're gone. And the mods that that I have on there, they're usually really, really good about giving people a bunch of chances about like, hey, that's not the way we do things around here. We're nice to these people. We're not degrading. We are not making fun of people. If their plants are not going well, we don't make fun of them. That's the opposite of what we do. We try to instruct them with things they can do to change, because a lot of times the problems with the plant, they're very similar. Like you can see it, like, yep, that plant's being overwatered. Yep, that plant's got tips and stripes. The lights are up way too high. And a lot of the growers, and they're not even the mods, they have been through this. They've been on my Discord for years at this time. My Discord has, I guarantee you, some of the best growers on the planet in it. And they've seen it. They've seen it all. And they're on there 24 hours a day because they're from all over the world. Because so there's people in Australia who, in the middle of the day here, it's the middle of the night there. So when it's the middle of the night here, it's the middle of the day there. There's always somebody on there to help you answer your question and has seen what your plant has before. And that's, we spent, it's been years at this place cultivating this environment and this culture in the Discord to where people don't have to feel shy or upset or embarrassed about their plants. They can literally post a picture of a plant and they are going to get, for the most part, encouragement and instruction with how to fix it to get it to look like everyone else's plant. So, it's been a long road coming. So like the Discord used to stress me out more than anything, because it was a ton of clashing personalities, and it's really formed into this awesome thing. So I've done 2 runs with Autopots XL 4 pots. I like hand watering better. I am a hand waterer also. I have had so many people, like a lot of like truck drivers and stuff like that, they like growing their own cannabis, but a lot of people, they aren't always home. So, and just, there's a lot of busy people. They're like, hey, the hand watering thing just doesn't work for me. I've got a lot of plants, and I was wondering if you could do the auto pots, because, as an over-road truck driver, somebody that's gone from the house all the time, this would really help me out. Just like having the plants have their own water reservoir system. I get to get home like once every, 7 to 10 days. All I got to do is drain the reservoir and make new water, and then the plants are completely fine by themselves on the watering front for that next 7 to 10 day period. And I was like, I can understand that aspect of it. And with an auto pot system, I just wish they would add one more. My biggest critique so far with the auto pots is they only have a 1-day timer system on there. And if you're doing soil with your auto pots, it makes it a little bit harder. I don't want them to water every day. I would like the timer to have a weekly dial on the inside of it, so that it keeps track with the outside dial by the day. And then it also has a weekly timer in the center of it, which means you wouldn't need nearly the amount of reservoir. But, you can use those auto pot systems, and you can have the buckets fill and drain as much as you want. So I would just like them to add a second dial on the inside of it that activated days of the week also. So it can be like, it activates the outside timer on Monday, and then it doesn't activate the inside timer again until like Friday or something like that. I would like it to have another dial. I need to patent this idea because it's genius. But I would like a second timer built into the auto pots to where it's not, because right now they're just set up for day. Like they water every day, and how many times a day basics is based on how many pins you click, just like on the manual timers on, like a regular light timer is basically how they run those things. And I just want a second dial where I can do it by days also. Like my irrigation on my watering system for my lawn, for my house, I can pick the days and times. I just want a secondary timer for the auto pot system. Like for my house, for the yard, it does it 4 days out of 7, it waters, and it does it in different zones for 30 minutes at a time, and it's only 4 days out of the week. I just want a secondary timer built into the auto pots. So if you're an auto pot company and you want to steal that idea, at least give me credit for it. Yeah, you could do the digital controller, but they don't make them. Like all of them have manual click controllers in them, at least the ones I saw. So Hey GT or hi GT, I have an emergency. My plants, all right, emergency. Batten down the hatches. Let's go. We're in emergency mode. Let's turn this around. All right, you gotta get serious here. That's too serious. All right, serious. Got an emergency. My plants are in flower. My plants are flowering in week 2 of veg. What's going on, please? I'm a beginner. It sounds like you have autoflowers and not photo periods, or your timer is messed up and it is the light is only being on for 12 hours or a shortened amount of time than the normal 18 hours. So those are your two answers. So either one, you have an autoflower that you thought was a photo period, which sometimes does happen. It's very rare, but sometimes it does. Or your timer on your light is messed up and they're getting less light than they need to be getting. So you either need to fix your timer or buy a new timer, or you have autoflowers and there's nothing you can do about it. Emergency averted. Suggest it to Mars Hydro. Do they have? I think they do have an autopot system. I think they might be mad at me because whenever I bought the system, they did not have one out yet. And generally, if they make the product, they want me to review their product. So they might be upset with me whenever I review this other system that I paid for out of my pocket. But they didn't have it when I bought it, so. Eric, I have issues navigating Discord. The biggest thing you have to remember about the Discord is the menu on the left that's like a sub menu for a bunch of different topics. So if you go to the left, the main place people are going to hang out is in the one that says general. That means just general talking about can of content. And then as you scroll further down, you'll see there's different topics. So you can scroll down the topics on the left and be like, oh, mycology, that I want to talk about that. And you can click that, and then it'll populate your news feed in the center with all the posts from people on that subject. So, and then you're like, okay, well, I want to look at, hydroponic systems. So I'm going to go over to the menu on the left. I'm going to scroll down. Okay, hydro, click, and you're going to click that. And now it will populate with all the what people are talking about in the hydro section. Or if maybe you want to talk about one of the lines, like, hey, I'm getting ready to grow blueberry, and I want to see what people kind of tips and stuff people have about blueberry. So you can go to a section, and there's 700 plus, there's 2,000 growers that maybe have some tips or hints for you on the exact line that you're getting ready to grow. And you can just click on that, or PFG or Cherry Atomic Sledgehammer. They each have their own thing. You can go up to the top and look at the entire lineage of what made that line, because once again, Artful Codger made those. Oh, I just hit my finger on the desk. That hurt. Oh. And so the main thing is your table of contents is over here on the left. You select what you want, and then that'll populate the center. And then if you look all the way to the right, that's generally like who's online. But the biggest thing is just spend time on it. But remember, table of contents over here, click the subject you want to talk about, and then they'll fill up in the center. I can't find your Discord. You have to, if you're a member, it's attached to the Patreon, so you have to be a part of the Patreon to find the Discord. It's private, so you can't just, it's not public. You have to be invited into it with, and you have to be attached to the Patreon to get in. And if you're looking to join the Patreon, you can use this link that I just posted in the chat. It'll take you right there. I would recommend that it's you join any of the ones with the VIP in the title, because they get the best benefits. If you know what I mean. All the mods are fantastic. Big shout out to Artful. Hey, there we go. They have to be autos. We're shocked or stunted. That were shocked or stunted to flower in week 2. Yeah, I've grown autos where it's very rare, but I have grown autos where they started flowering at the end of week 2. Generally, though, usually the earliest auto is going to start is week 3, which does happen, which is annoying. This is one of my other problems with autos, is the inconsistency. So you can have some of your autos where they'll go into flower in week 3 or even week 2, and then you can have some of your autos that don't go into flower till week 5. So now you have plants in the same tent that these ones are in week, 3 of flower, and these ones are still in veg, just getting ready to transition into flower. So now you've got plants that are still in veg that want veg newts, and then you've got plants that are in flower that want flower newts. And now I'm making 2 different, food sources for plants that were the same age in the same garden. Autos. Get me annoyed just like PK boosters. GT, best channel for live content. Hey, thanks, man. Let's see. It takes patience. I'm on my 4th grow with GT. Each grow gets better and better. By grow number 6, I might have a general idea of what I'm doing. Hey, you're getting there. Every grow looks better, man. Exactly. Oh. My dark period temperature is 4 to 5 degrees Celsius higher. Your room is hotter in the dark than it is with the light on. That's backwards usually. I keep the tent open during the day. Okay, but still, the light's on. Shut the long room door at night, which is reducing ventilation. Is this stressing the plant? Generally not. Oh, did you join the Discord though, Devin? Send me I'll get you another link. Send me a message on Patreon, Devin, right now. Like, go to Patreon and send me a message, and I'll send you a private link. Hold on, I'm gonna pull this. I'm gonna pull up the Patreon. Get you. I'm making your own private invite right now. But go send me a message real quick. I got this link ready for you, and I'll send it to you. Man, I need to go smoke. I'm getting my. You can always tell, like, whenever it's time for me to go smoke, because I start getting fidgety and like moving around too much, because whenever like I need to smoke that train track that I always talk about, where like weed helps me focus and bring everything down to 1 track instead of 30, that track starts dividing and I start going a bunch of different ways at the same time. So I really need to go smoke. So you can see like my monitor, like my camera's shaking because my legs are bouncing, which is causing the desk to shake. So did you send me a message yet? Yep. That's me, Devin. Okay, there you are. Okay, so I am going to paste. Don't share this. Don't share that link with anybody. There's your private link. Just click that link and you'll get into Patreon. So I just sent it to you, buddy. And that is the kind of service you get on my Patreon. Open link in new tab. That's the kind of service you get in my Patreon. And if you'd like to join it, feel free to grab the join on that tab right there. All kinds of cool, crazy benefits. And the main one is you get to hang out with me. Now, the main one people would probably argue is the other thing that gets sent out periodically, but I like to think it's because you get to hang out with me. Oh, Jesus. Dude, the more cookies. That cookie on 420. That's the guy that I like. Remember, we were at the beginning of this. We were talking about what we do with the stuff that, like all the stuff from the leftovers from after I make the seeds. That's who does it. And I ate like 3/4 of that cookie, and I was fucked up for like a day and a half. And I called him like whenever I was like back to myself, and I called him and I was just like, "Hey, bro," I was like, "How strong was that cookie?" He's like, "Oh, I don't know. We each eat. We had 4 of us, and we split it into quarters, and we were fucked up." I was like, "Oh yeah, that would have been nice to know." I was like, "I ate 3/4 of the cookie." He about pissed himself. He's laughing so hard. He's like, "Oh my god." He's like, "That's enough for almost 4 people." But I was fucked up by the end of, like, it kept getting worse too. Like it kept getting stronger and stronger. Like I think I had to shut the stream off after like 6 hours because I was like mentally incapacitated by the end of it. And I was hoping to do 8 hours on that, and I was just done. I was so done. Like being Ricky GT for half of the broadcast and then GT for some of it. And I was so cashed in by the end of it. So I just, because it's YouTube, so I don't ever want to smoke on here because before they're like, "Oh yeah, it's no big deal. You guys are all fine. You can smoke." And then in 2018 on Christmas, they're like, every time you smoked on screen, it was a strike on your channel, and they deleted everyone's cannabis channels. Everyone, they deleted all these channels, and I don't know. I just don't want to do it. So I thought the edibles were a good way to get around it. Did you email me back about the 420 giveaway? Oh man, I've sent all of those out. I sent all those out by like May. So if you didn't get them, they were definitely lost in the mail. Yeah, just it's hard for me to read the emails though because I get about 1,200 of them a day. So just keep sending them. And if you're a Patreon, just message me on there. Don't email. But yeah, we sent all those out a long time ago. So if you haven't gotten it, they just got destroyed or lost in the mail. So because those all went out a long time ago. In the process of making hash out of 4 PFG and 2 cash. Oh, nice. Is your PFG the easiest feed for beginners right now? Yeah, absolutely easy by far. Sorry, I've asked a couple times. Just super curious if I should get that next time or more Spartan Sour Diesel. The PFG is one of the best beginner strains I've ever made. So, and we really enjoyed that day. I'm glad. But yeah, if you're a Patreon, just message me on Patreon. Don't email me. My email is a nightmare. I think there is, my phone's not with me, but let me check on the other screen here. I think there's like 25,000 unanswered emails, and that's just from like the past 2 months. There's 22,500 emails, and it's just for like the past month and a half. Because I go in there and I just delete them because I can't even look at them. It's like fucking too big of a buildup. Well, you make any regular bird food anymore, GT? Because it's not as popular. And then I have a ton of it that I have to sit on, like with Jedi Council Kush, which is like one of the strongest things we've ever made. And it will put me down on, I can't even smoke it because it puts me down on the couch for like 3 or 4 hours and I can't get anything done because I'm so fucked up. But, a lot of other people like that, but they don't, most people they dislike, I had received mine, but my husband never received his. I'll send his region. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's fine. But at least you got yours. So they went out. It's just regular mail, so they didn't go out, tracked or anything like that. But they all went out. So I'm glad you got yours though. The regular bird food. See, it's like gone. They're just not. A lot of people don't like growing regular stuff. I don't mind making it. It's way easier to make regular stuff than feminized stuff. It's way easier. Like, oh, boy, girl, poof, done. No extra fucking involvement. But a lot of people don't like growing regulars because they don't want to risk growing males. And I don't mind it. Doesn't bother me. But most people don't like growing males. That's the reason we don't do a ton of them. We might do one this year. I don't know. I like growing regular stuff. And that's one of the things I think that new people don't understand. Like, if you have a problem with like your herming stuff and stuff all the time, grow regulars. They're almost impossible. I mean, you can still, I shouldn't say that. You can still do it. but they are extremely hard to herm because they're regular. So, but we've made regular bird food before. Pineapple upside down cake was regular, and sometimes you get crappy odds. Like look at the mod Eric. I think he planted 10 and he got 9 males. So one of exhibit A why people don't like growing regulars. You know what I mean? Oh, but we did pineapple upside down cake was a regular, and Jedi Council Kush, they were also regular. So, am I disturbing you? I wish you guys could see her. She's like laying on her side, and she has her head like squished into my foot, and she was like squirming around because I guess I'm talking too much. This what you should run again for us, GT, the pineapple. Look at Eric. Yep, I hate regulars, but the JCK did better for you. Okay, good. Is yellowing dying leaves at week normal at week 6? Yes. So that is called the start of the fade. Your canopy, the fade generally starts around week 6. Sometimes it can start a little early in week 5. We try to get away from that. But week 6 is generally when the fade starts. If your plants are still green in week 7, that is a problem. Your canopy falling apart and dying and fading off is not the problem. Every plant on the planet goes through the fade. Well, not pine trees, but like regular plants and trees. They autumn and the leaves fall off for a reason. This plant is no different than that, and it goes through the same process. So, oh, my phone's ringing. I'll be right back. Hello. Hello. Hey. I'm on a live stream. What's up? I don't know. Probably like 10 minutes. I'm like starting to get a headache, and I need to smoke. So. Right. Oh, but. And I'm back. I crossed the JCK with Sunset Sherbert. Smells like dirty socks. Awesome. Squirrel. Cheers all at welcome to the Grow Tent. Hey, cheers, Galaxy. Is it okay? I gave feed in week 6. Yeah, you can give feed in week 6. As week 6 is actually the last week you should feed, unless you're doing slow release dry amendments. Then you move it back a little bit. Right, didn't think of that. Had me worried. Yeah, it's funny. Like whenever you step, because you get so drawn into like focusing on this tent, and then as soon as you step out of the box and like kind of get a clearer picture, like oh yeah, every fucking plant does that at the end of the year. You're like, oh yeah, okay, relax, take a breath. Way overdid veg. Can I cut the tops of plant in flower? Get under control. Still in week 2. You're better off taking entire branches off to thin it out a little bit than taking the tops off because they're transitioning into flower. So it's better to take entire branches. What's your longest cultivar, longest flowering, longest growing? I mean, longest branching. I don't know what kind of longest. Longest lasting. I'm not sure which longest you mean. I have 2 PFG in week 5 right now. Such a great strain. Oh, I agree. That grape soda smells crazy. Do you ever use UV and ultraviolet in your lights? I do not. What's your longest flowering strain? Probably the JCK or the strawberry mimosa. A lot of the strawberry mimosas I was having to take out to like week 9, week 10. But probably either of those two. Fucking top chat. Live chat. There we go. Oh, man. All right, y'all. Well, I think I'm going to go call the wife back because I think they wanted to go out to eat lunch somewhere. And then I've got a date with a specific plant and a bong. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. I hope you guys all have a fantastic rest of the weekend. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. We've got a new episode dropping. It has to do with flower. And then we have another episode dropping on Monday, which is episode 4 of the Making Feminized Bird Food. So make sure you watch for that on Monday. And then we've got a cool video that hopefully doesn't get age restricted tomorrow that will be dropping. So I hope you guys all have a fantastic weekend. If you guys haven't yet, join the Discord to support the channel, and it's much appreciated. I'll see you guys next time. I hope everybody has a fantastic week. GT.